Hey guys, welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst. I hope everyone's doing good, and I hope you have been having a good time in the 9.1.5 patch. As for weekly events this week, we have Timewalking. It will be the WOD one, so no, it's not Legion. We won't see the Legion one till December 7th. But you can go do the WOD one. If you do your quest, which will be available over in Oribos, it's the Savage Path Through Time. That will issue you your cash at the end, which rewards you a 226 piece of gear. And that's to do 5 dungeons, so good one if you're trying to catch up in item level on some alts and stuff. We'll also have the Sign of Iron buff, which basically increases all your quest gain and rep gain in WoD by 50%. On screen here is the reps that are involved in that. That buff doesn't always include absolutely everything. It usually skips the special reps. So this is the reps that would be applied. And of course there's gear you can get. And more notably, those that haven't gone both of the mounts, WoD is the one and only Timewalking where you can get 2 mounts from it. So we have the Beast Lord's Iron Tusk and the Beast Lord's Warwolf. Both are at 5,000, so you would need a total of 10,000 if you wanted to get both of them. And of course, with every single Timewalking, you can earn attempts at the Infinite Time Raver. This one's an easy farm. It's a chance off of every single boss. So as far as that goes, it's easy, but it's still a low drop rate, but easy attempts. And then of course there's the rep tokens. They're 50 Time Warp badges each. And there's 2 toys you can get. The Apexis Focusing Shard is 500 Time Warp badges, and the Banner of the Burning Blade is 750 Time Warp badges. So definitely some stuff you can get in here. Those that are interested on what you would get for completing the dungeons, pretty much all of them are 30 on completion, except Everbloom's 35, and Grimrail Depot is 25. The dungeon loot in the dungeon is 184. Next, we have the PvP Brawl will be Deep Wind Dunk. And there is also the Moonkin Festival. It runs for 1 day only. It's going to be on Friday, November 12th. Basically, the reason you would do it is while the event is around, you can earn the reward for 5 little Moonkins to be following you around. They'll follow you around for 5 days, and then you're kind of done at that point. And it does give you a title, so it'll be your name and then Adventuring Instructor. But the downfall is you only have that title while you have that Moonkin Hatchling buff, which is the 5 little Moonkins following you. So you only have the title for 5 days, basically. All you gotta do is just go to Moonglade, and you're gonna be looking for Macaw. He is near the pet tamer that's out there. Coordinates is 4562, and you get the quest Moonkin Monitoring. So the quest will say observe the nearby dancing, moonfiring, and napping Moonkin hatchlings and see what you can learn. So you go observe each 3 of those. As a little quick how-to, because I am going to do a video on this, but then it's a 1-day event. I won't be able to do the video till that day, and then I'll have to upload it that day, and you might want to do it before I do it, right? Especially when I don't upload my videos till like 2 p.m. So yeah, so I'm going to give you a quick how-to right now. So basically, once you have this quest, first place you're going to go is Astralair. 4563 for those coordinates. Then PewQ is 4266 and Dramok is 4469. So you're just going to wait at each one of those for the quest credit, and then you return back to Macaw. And so at this point, you'll hand in the quest, you'll gain one of the companions and your title. So at this point, you can go 61, 66 and gather 5 moonberries. And they're basically at the bottom of all the trees, so they're easy to find. And you'll use all 5 moonberries to gain the second hatchling. And then you're going to kill the Jadefire demons that are in the area. They'll give you Moonglow Water, Brilliant Vial, and the Constella's Corruption. Basically, those items, you're going to use all 3 of them, and they will create the Moonkissed Antidote, which gets you your 3rd hatchling. And then you're going to head to the Barrow Den entrance, which is at 7156. You'll enter the den. At the bottom, you'll see Cluckle. So just speak to him, cure him, and then leave the den. And that's how you get the 4th hatchling. And then for our final one, you're going to go to 6860 Xavinox. You're just going to kill him. So you'll loot the Beanie Boomy, which is your 5th hatchling. And that is basically it. So very easy. For those that don't really play till later on in the evening, I will have the guide up on the channel for you guys. But for those that are more early players, you probably would want to do this before I get the video up, which is why I went through it right now with you. So I hope you have fun doing that and collecting all your Moonkin hatchlings. It's a really cute event, and, you know, I main a druid, so the Moonkin Festival is by far my favorite little mini event they have going on. I absolutely love it, and it's just so adorable. And that is the weekly events. As far as goals and accomplishments, as you guys know, and if you don't, all it takes is one look at the channel lately. But as you guys know, I've been like so deep into Animal Crossing, it's not even funny. I have been so hooked. And that started before the patch. And yeah, I have been so hooked lately. And this update that they brought out recently is so amazing, guys. It is one of the best updates I've seen in a long time from any game. And yeah, they brought so much quality of life changes and so many new things you can do. And all I can think of pretty much every day lately is Animal Crossing. I just always want to be in there. So I do apologize for the lack of WoW streams and all that. I did do a stream last week, and I am gonna try to sneak one in this week. My hype will fade, you know, it will fade. And I did tell you guys a couple of weeks ago that, you know, my time coming back was going to be around the anniversary, and that starts up next week. So I can fully tell you that I will be back with more WoW videos than you have been seeing lately. Lately, it's been like 1 to 2 videos a week. Usually you guys get a whole lot more than that from me. You know, deep down, I hope you guys are enjoying both of the content, like the WoW and the Animal Crossing, but I do know that not everyone likes both of those games, right? So we will have the WoW content coming back. I have had a couple of people asking when the streams were coming back, and at the moment, I can give you at least one stream, but I am still hyped with Animal Crossing, and yeah. So I will do my best, but like I said, December is kind of around the time where it's going to be a little more consistent with WoW. But as far as goals go, didn't really have any goals because of, you know, me playing a lot of Animal Crossing. But I did get a couple of new pets and some toys in Islands when I was doing Islands. So that was fun. Ironically, I still need, you know, a few things from Islands. I did a lot of this in BFA, but loot is loot, right? RNG is RNG. You know, just because you did a lot doesn't mean you have everything. I've really been enjoying the Islands. I'm so glad they made it solo. It's not bad. Like, the first one I went into, I lost but most of them I have won them. And no matter what, win or lose, you get items. And I have been noticing that with it being solo mode now, you farm that currency fast. Like in BFA, I farmed enough currency to get the mount that was worth 1,000, but by the time I was working on the cheaper one that's worth 500, I was starting to get burnt out on islands. And yeah, that currency, it's not a tough farm anymore. It's easy now. With going into solo, like, yeah, it is such an easy currency farm. Yeah, so highly recommend if you want those mounts, because like, yeah, 1,000 will still take you a while to get. Don't get me wrong, but nowhere near the time it took in BFA, because you can just solo queue. It's an instant queue now. So yeah, it's really nice. And that's really all I got to say on that. I did do a stream. If anyone's interested on seeing some 9.1.5 stuff, I did do a stream last week where I went after all the druid forms, and we did some islands, and maybe some other stuff. Those are the only two things that I recall doing. So it might have been the only two things, honestly, because the druid forms actually took a little more effort than I thought. There was a lot of travel to go get all the druid forms. And that'll be an upcoming video. So like if you want to see it, but you want to see it in short form, yeah, just wait a couple of days. I'll have a video up. And that pretty much concludes the weekly events and my goals and accomplishments. So let's get to news. Okay, so the first thing in news I have for you guys is just a quick reminder. You'll no longer have to run to the raid. You can, just port there. You can see on screen the destinations. So if you haven't done so yet, maybe you've been away from the game and you're coming back to raid or something, make sure to use your teleporter to go to Desmo there for your raid destination. So the next thing I wanted to mention is Fusan's Hackblade. It's a low item level two-hand sword. 220 is the item level, but it looks cool, and it might be good for an ult or something. So how you get it is there's been kind of two methods for getting it. The more common one is that you can get the quest to drop from Maldraxxus NPCs out in Revendreth. The quest is called A Defector's Request. And then the other way is if you haven't done your Venthyr campaign yet, there's a chance you can get the quest along the way through that. So for the most part, you can just accidentally stumble upon it. Once you get the quest, it'll lead you to a rare follower mission, and you just do that mission and then get your blade. Another thing worth mentioning is that when I first logged in after the 9.1.5 dropped, I noticed that the male icons were showing up on my character screen again, finally. And I say again because some people might not realize it was actually there, but the last patch we got, it was there for a day, and then something happened and it vanished and we never saw it again. But I did have those notifications there for one day during the last patch. So it's nice to see it's back, and hopefully it's back to stay. I imagine there was a big issue for it to not be around all of that patch. Either that or they released it early and they wanted to put it in a later patch, but it is there. And so now it's so handy to just know who has mail on them so you can, get your mail from them. Another thing worth mentioning is the mission table XP tokens. So prior to the patch dropping, it was a soul-bound item, so it bound to your character. When the patch dropped, the soul-bound turned into account-bound. So your follower experience tokens are account bound. Any one of your characters can use that token. So it might be a good way to maybe get some of your other Covenant soul binds taken care of if you're interested in that. As someone who's like pretty much done the mission table, I focused it from the very beginning, so I've gotten everything off of it. It's not something that I really care. Like, I'm not gonna go redo another table just because it's another Covenant. You get the same mounts, the same pets, no matter what. But it is cool for people trying to catch up. Up on screen here is a screenshot of the hotfixes for this week. And yeah, you can just pause and check it out. A BFA change that is a good one. King's Rest is a mount farm, for those that don't know. There is the mummified raptor mount that you see in the picture here. That comes off of the second boss that's in the dungeon. And it used to be pretty tough to solo because of his entomb. So now he no longer casts that. So he is a lot easier to solo. How it would work before is because since you're solo, no one can get you out of that. And so what would happen is it would make the boss evade and then it would just like reset. Yeah. So happy farming now. That opens up a mount farm for a lot of you guys if you don't have the mummified raptor mount. One additional thing I'd like to mention for some WoW news here is the Thundering Serpent hatchling. So this is for people who play the black market. This is a pet that became unobtainable when WOD ended. So they added it into the black market in this 9.1.5 patch. So you can get it. The original way you got it was from doing the Challenge Conquerors Gold. It was a guild achievement. We also found out that Overwatch 2 and D4 has been delayed. The next date that they're aiming for is sometime in 2023. So definitely going to be waiting a while on that one. This one isn't very shocking, like with the state of WoW. WoW has always kind of been like the one with the most content. So if WoW doesn't have a lot going for it, I feel like, I know that it's different teams that work on everything, but I still feel like, if there's not much going on with WoW, there probably isn't much going on with anything else. So there's two ways of looking at this. One is good, one is very bad. And that is the fact that I fully believe they would never release a WoW expansion in the same year as an Overwatch 2 and D4. Especially D4, because a lot of us WoW players love Diablo as well. And I for one am super hyped for when D4 does finally drop, and I totally intend on playing the fuck out of it. So I fully believe that there's no way they would release a WoW expansion on the same year they do an Overwatch 2 and a Diablo 4, assuming it stays at that delayed year, right? So that puts us in a good or bad situation. The good situation is that would mean that they're gonna release the expansion in 2022, which would be asking a lot. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I am saying that they would be rushing content and probably, I've often thought that they're gonna treat Shadowlands like WoD and just kind of, it's a bad expansion, call it a day, and just kind of work on the next expansion and, wow people that way. They did it with WoD. Legion was the next expansion, and Legion wowed people. It was really a good expansion. I have the hopes that that's what they're doing. I'm good with crap content if you're off working on this amazing next expansion for us, right? I can handle it. I'm busy in Animal Crossing anyway, right? Them being ready in 2022 is a lot to ask for, considering we just got 9.15, and yeah, they've mentioned that there's a 9.2, and they've mentioned that there's stuff after that, so there might even be a 9.3. And so that brings us to our next case, and that is that we could be stuck in Shadowlands till 2024. Because I really don't think they would announce an expansion in 2023. So I feel like either they would rush it and get it out at the end of 2022, or they would drag content along, work more on the new expansion, and release it in 2024. I just think 2023 is a little too jam-packed. So with all that said, my predictions is either 9.2 or 9.3 for a final patch. I want to say 9.2, but Ian did kind of hint towards a 9.3, so maybe a 9.3 would be the final one. I know people have been talking about a 9.4. I definitely don't think that's going to happen, but who knows. And I definitely think they've already been working on the new expansion, so I think we're getting a 2022, honestly. What I think is, I think they'll drag it out till the last second. So it'll be like a November release or something. Like they want to hit their 2-year and not violate that. They want to get as much work done as possible. So the best way to do that is to have it at the end. And that's just what I think. I just don't think they would do a 2023, and at 2024 you'd lose too many people. Yeah, it would be nice to have that kind of time to rebuild and all that, but the reality is it would be a horrible business decision. You would lose way too many subs, and they've lost more than enough as it is. So I definitely feel like they probably feel pressured to get it out for 2022. And Activision probably is demanding it gets out in 2022, especially with everything going on. So that's my final, opinion of that. Let me know what you guys think of this. You think it'll be a 2022 release, 2023, 2024? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks everyone for watching. An extra big thanks to the members of the channel, and we will see you in the next video. Bye guys.